Hello friends, you're with the Lonesome Gamer, and tonight I'm gonna play Arkham Horror. And I want to focus on the Innsmouth horror expansion, and also on the Black Goat of the Woods with this fantastic cover art that shows a dark young. And if you're following my channel, you probably might have realized that I haven't done videos for quite a while now. I think it was, I'm not sure, maybe 2 or 3 months, something like that. And the reason for that is actually simply that my camcorder was broken. I mentioned that on my website, and yeah, so I couldn't do any videos, obviously, because I didn't have the money to buy a new camcorder. Thankfully, though, a few of my followers decided to give some donations, and that actually made it possible that I can do this video now. So I want to thank Tim, Marco, Mikkel, Sergey and Ashley for their donations. And yeah, I'm really doing this video for them, because otherwise I don't know how much longer I would have to wait to start a new series. And especially Mikkel, he really did a huge donation. And therefore, I asked him if there was something that he wished me to do. And he decided, because the first video that he's seen me doing was actually Arkham Horror. And it's kind of fun, because that is also the first playthrough that I have seen on the internet. I remember it was a playthrough of Gradanza by Arkham Horror, and it was amazing. It was really, you know, it was the real deal. He was sitting there in his hotel room, and it was pretty dark, and everything was small, and it was the board and the cards were everywhere. And yeah, and he was playing that game, and it was so fantastic to watch. So yeah, maybe you want to check that out. It's really fun to watch. It's about 8 years old or so, but it's still great to see that. Okay, so thank you for helping me out here. And yeah, this video is for you guys. So let's set up the game. Okay, so the game is set here. And while I shuffled some of these special cards for the Goat expansion, I actually found out something interesting. Take a look at that. You know what that is? It's Jar Jar Binks. At least that's what it looks like to me. That's definitely Jar Jar Binks. And in reality, it seems to be just a dark young in disguise. Maybe that's why it's called the Phantom Menace. So, let's start with these, with the background stories here. Jim Culver, the musician. Daddy used to say, jazz is not like liquor. Jazz is a lot like liquor. It makes everything go down a little smoother. Daddy used to say a lot of stupid things. Jazz has been nothing but trouble for Jim since the day he picked up his daddy's trumpet. There was something weird and otherworldly about the writing on the inside of the bell, but the tones from it were smooth and dark like good coffee. There was something about it that made you want to tap your feet and snap your fingers. That trumpet landed Jim a lot of gigs until the time it made Widow Jenkins get up and dance the day he played at her funeral. After that, it was kinda hard to find work, especially playing funerals. Since then, Jim has learned a lot about jazz and the things the graveyard ghouls talk about on cold autumn nights. Lately, they've been talking about the end, as in the end of everything that is and could be. The final rhapsody. The fact is, Jim isn't too keen on that idea. He's got more songs he wants to play before then. So sitting in a booth at Velma's, Jim takes one last swallow of hot coffee before heading out to play what could be his last encore. The coffee is smooth and dark going down, just like the night. So, first I got to find its miniature, actually. Okay, so we have here Jim Culver, his miniature. And he starts at Velma's Diner, which is, wait a minute, that's here. Okay, there we are. He has some special abilities. Deadman Stomp. Jim may spend one clue token to automatically pass a combat check against an undead monster. Strange Luck. Other worlds are considered to have a green encounter symbol for you in addition to their normal encounter symbols. Well, I already know this is going to be hard to remember. But, well, I'll try. Now, let's see. Guess I'm going to go for speed here. And, well, he's not the greatest fighter. Hard to tell. He's got a great will. Damn it. Anyway, let's do it like this. Okay. So, he's got a few special items. A few items. First, he's got his fixed position, that's the golden trumpet. Put one sanity token from the bank on golden trumpet to avoid losing one sanity. If there are 3 sanity tokens on it, discard golden trumpet. Then he starts with a random common item, and that is the dynamite. +8 to combat checks, but it's only a one-time card. He starts with 2 spells. Wither. Okay, there we got casting modifier 0, sanity cost 0. Any phase, cast and exhaust to gain +3 to combat checks until the end of this combat. Well, it's not too bad, but because he has no other weapon, or permanent weapon, it's also not too cool. And then he's got that intervene spell. A casting modifier -1, sanity cost 2, this is massive. Cast an exhaust before an investigator makes a combat check to give that investigator +3 to the check. This is of course a very powerful one. So if we use it, it might be actually worth the cost. He starts with 3 clue tokens and $3. Huh. Wonder if I can get some weapon for $3. It's gonna be hard, but well, we'll see. Okay. Next one is then Patrice Hathaway. So the violinist. You can see 2 musicians here. All her life, Patrice has lived for her music. The soaring sonatas, the graceful arias, and the booming marches have always been her closest companions. But sometimes as she plays, she can sense something at the edge of her awareness, something that watches her and waits for what she doesn't know. For what she doesn't know. The presence has been growing over the last month, and her increasing nervousness is starting to spoil her ability to play the violin. That's not something she can tolerate. So when an old gypsy she was swapping tunes with told her that she was being watched by an evil spirit, Patrice listened with somewhat less skepticism than she might have had even a month ago. The gypsy referred her to a shop in Arkham that might have what she needs to get rid of the spirit. That explains why Patrice finds herself entering the curiosity shop this evening, feeling a little silly and more than slightly nervous. So, that is her miniature. I assume she starts at the curiosity shop, exactly. And it says, inspiring. Patrice may allow the other investigators to spend her clue tokens, even if they are not in the same location or world. Well, this is just absolutely amazing. Ominous dreams. Patrice gains 1 clue token each time a gate opens. She also gains 5 clue tokens when the 9th space of the Ancient One's Doom track is filled. Again, a fantastic ability, especially, of course, in combination with the first. She seems to be a very, very powerful character. So she already starts with 3 clue tokens. Only $2, which kind of sucks. She's got no fixed possessions apart from that. Random possessions, she has 1 common item. This is the Athami. Physical weapon, +1 to combat checks, +3 if opponent has magical resistance, +6 if magical immunity. So that can be very, very strong. In addition to that, we have 2 spells. I ended up with the Culte des Ghouls. Exhaust and spend 2 movement points to make a lore -2 check. If you pass, draw 1 spell and gain 1 clue token, but lose 2 sanity and discard the card. Okay, that's pretty rough, losing 2 sanity. It's a spell and 2 clue tokens, so therefore, and 1 clue token, so I guess it's worth it. Here we have the 7 cryptical books of Hassan. Exhaust instead of spending 1 sanity when casting a spell. That's again extremely strong. And here we have her random spell, the Forced Learning. Casting modifier -1, sanity cost 2. Upkeep, you may cast and discard to gain 1 skill. Well, honestly, I think that's pretty useless for her because she already will lose 2 sanity because of the Culte des Ghouls, if I'm going to use that one. And then I can't afford to lose another 2 sanity. So that's pretty much a useless spell for her. And, well... And she's got speed as a special ability, which gives her +1 speed. And a clue token, if she spends that, she can add it... she can add an extra bonus die. Yeah, okay, cool. In addition to that, she has a personal background story. I kind of check randomly at the beginning of the game if the characters have one or not, so that I don't get through all the personal stories too fast. I wanted to remain something special. So Patrice Hathaway's background story. Whatever this presence was that kept hounding her, Patrice knew that she had to get rid of it before something unpleasant happened. According to her gypsy friend, somewhere in this town there was something that could help her, and she would find it no matter what it took. It says the critic, pass. Each time Patrice draws a unique item, put a clue token on this card. If there are 2 clue tokens on this card, place Rhythm Restored in play. If Patrice is knocked unconscious or driven insane, place a soulful area in play. Okay. That's tricky. Well, honestly, I'm not sure what that means. Does that also apply to buying items in the curiosity shop? Well, honestly, I don't think so, because technically I draw already 3 unique items. Maybe it does. That's interesting, man. Damn, I think I might check that on BGG. Because technically that means I would only need to hang out there 2 turns. Because each turn I'm allowed to draw a unique item there. And then I would be already happy. I have to check that. Well, honestly, I couldn't find an answer. The wording is pretty clear. Each time she draws a unique item. Well, and it says here, you may draw 3 unique items. So that's what happens, right? So I'm gonna allow her to do that. I guess if she uses this thing here, this special option in the curiosity shop twice, she's done with her story. And it might actually make sense, you know. I mean, someone told her there is this place in Arkham, the curiosity shop, where she can find answers. She hangs out there a little bit and, I don't know, studies some books or talks to the right people or something. And then she might be able to solve the problem. Okay. So, and it will definitely slow her down. I'm not even sure if I want to do that at the moment. On the other hand, I also don't know what kind of special ability she gets. It could be pretty strong. Well, we'll find out about that. Okay. Let's continue. The next guy is Tommy Muldoon, the rookie cop. Tommy Muldoon wasn't sure what was going on in this crazy city. He'd no sooner graduated from the police academy in Boston than he'd been loaned out to the Arkham Sheriff's Department. That wouldn't have been so bad, except that some of the stuff going on in Arkham was right out of a bad horror novel. Weird creatures in the woods, people found turned inside out, and worse. Still, Tommy had sworn to protect and serve, and he would do this best to live up to those vows, no matter what. Besides, he had his trusty rifle, Becky. What could go wrong? Standing in front of the police station, Tommy feels a shiver run down his back at the thought, "Okay, Tommy," he mutters to himself, "time to be a hero." Well, starts with 2 clue tokens. He also has very little money, which is again pretty bad. Most of us has only little money. This here is his miniature. And I guess he starts at the police station. Yes, indeed. he has a ton of items. First I wanna place these markers here, just like that. Okay, so first of all, he's got 2 fixed possessions, the map of Arkham, exhaust to get 1 extra movement point, and the rifle. +5 to combat checks. That's a 2-handed weapon, still pretty impressive. He's got 2 random common items, and there he ended up with the bullwhip, which isn't too great. +1 to combat checks. Could exhaust that thing to reroll 1 die after making a combat check. And he's got the carbine rifle, and that is pretty great. Exhaust before making combat check to gain +5 to that check. So I guess he will give one of these rifles to somebody else. Finally, he has 1 unique item, and that turned out to be the Gladius of Carcosa. A magical weapon, +4 to combat checks, +5 if your other hand is empty. Very, very powerful. So he ended up with some really good weapons. In addition, he has the psychology, which is also great because it says when you make any will check, add +1 to each die you roll for purposes of checking for successes. That is pretty cool. Especially if you want to fight a lot, and that's what he wants to do. Now he also ended up with a personal story. Tommy had a bad feeling down in his bones about his assignment. Something told him there was going to be trouble, bad trouble, and that he just might not get to walk away from it in the end. We need a hero. Holy crap. If Tommy is devoured, place giving his all in play. If the terror level reaches 5, placed where were you in play? Well, okay. In addition to that, he has a special relationship with Jenny Barnes. They're both hunters. When you and your partner are in the same neighborhood, either of you may exhaust this card before making a combat check against a monster to reduce its toughness by 1 to a minimum of 1 during this combat check. Definitely an interesting thing. They have to stay together somehow, but maybe we can try to work with this ability. And finally we have here Jenny Barnes. There she is. And at least she's a rich chick. So, several months ago, Jenny was visiting Paris when she received a letter from her sister, Isabel. In it, Isabel rambled incoherently, writing about men in dark cloaks following her wherever she went, and of hoof prints in the woods left by an enormous goat. The outside of the envelope was partially stained with blood, and it was mailed from Arkham. That was the last letter from Isabel she received. Jenny has since returned to the States, coming to Arkham to find her missing sister. Stepping off the train from Boston into the dark autumn night, she believes that her sister was abducted by a strange cult and is determined to find her and thwart the plans of those that took her, even if she has to save all of Arkham in the process. Oh, actually, I forgot the special abilities of Tommy Muldoon. Hero, before a Mythos card is drawn, Tommy may cause one or more monsters that are adjacent to his location to move to his location, regardless of their normal movement. Interesting. On the force, Tommy may not be arrested. In addition, it only costs him 1 gate trophy or 5 toughness worth of monster trophies to become Deputy of Arkham. Now that is pretty interesting because he may not be arrested. That is probably extremely powerful in Innsmouth. Okay. Back to Jenny. Yeah, she starts with $10. And she's got a few random possessions here. Let's see what we got here. First, a few common items. And she basically has some crappy stuff here. A lantern +1 to luck checks. Food. Discard food to reduce any stamina loss by 1. It's all not that great. She's got a warding statue. Pretty expensive, but honestly I'm not convinced by it. Discard warding statue after failing a combat check to reduce the monster's combat damage to 0 stamina. This can also be used to cancel an Ancient One's entire attack for 1 turn. Definitely not bad, but is it really worth $6? I would prefer a really powerful weapon, but anyway. However, at least she got a good spell here, the Shriveling. Casting modifier -1, sanity cost 1. Cast an exhaust to gain +6 to combat checks until the end of this combat. That's definitely strong and yeah. So we gotta go high here on lore. And yeah, I guess I'm gonna give her full speed and go with kind of a medium will and combat rating. Maybe even go down a little bit with will. Okay. Good thing is she's got a +1 fight. When you spend a clue token to add to any fight deck, add 1 extra bonus die. Very good. She also has a personal story. God, that's small. She was just off the train here in Arkham and already Jenny hated this town. Of course, she'd had a few weeks on the trip from Paris to build the hate and fear. In truth, Arkham doesn't seem as bad in person as it did in her imagination. The gabled roofs and New England architecture were actually fairly charming, and the people didn't seem too horrid, until she started asking questions, that is. Okay. Now, Isabel, pass. Well, if Jenny is at the unvisited isle during the upkeep phase, she may spend 5 clue tokens to place Reunited in play. Shit, that's expensive. I really don't know if I want to do that. If the terror level reaches 3 or higher, place 2 late in play. Wow. Holy shit. I don't know. Okay. So, here we got a miniature. And she starts at the train station, right here. She got a trust fund. So in every upkeep phase, she gains $1. Okay, that's pretty much it then. Okay, so we're basically ready to start now. I'm not going to go into the rule explanation. You can do that in you can see that in my first Arkham Horror video when I play with the Dunwich expansion. I'm going to only explain the specific rules for the Innsmouth board or this other expansion, the Black Goat, or what the name is. Yeah, the Black Goat of the Woods. So for now, what's important to know is, then this is kind of, we have here a Deep One Rising track. There are here, over there, these 6 symbols. And if this is filled, there are 6 tokens here, 6 Deep One tokens, then the Ancient One awakes. Now, it's a little bit like in Dunwich. Anytime a monster moves into one of these vortexes here, a Deep One token will be placed there. In addition, anytime a gate is prevented from opening, either due to a special ability of an investigator, or due to a elder sign, also a marker is placed there. And I think there was a third option, and I'm not absolutely sure. Let's have a look. No, I don't think so, actually. No, 2 primary ways. Okay, and the other interesting thing is that when the Ancient One reaches, when the Ancient One track, the Doom track, is half way filled, so if there are 6 Doom tokens on it, then we'll have a martial law in Innsmouth. And we see most spaces here, nearly all of them, have a specific modifier down there. Only these green spaces don't. And every time you enter one of these spaces, you have to pass an evade check, otherwise you'd be arrested in the Innsmouth jail. Which is pretty dangerous space, actually. Now, the cool thing about our heroes, Tommy Muldoon is on the 4th, so he may not be arrested. And that is pretty awesome. So he is definitely the guy who will hang out there if there will be martial law. We'll play against this ugly guy, and I think he really looks horrific. Quatschil Utaus. Footprints in the dust. While Quatschil Utaus stirs in his slumber, shuffle the 3 dust stacks at the start of the game and place them face down on this sheet. Okay, these are actually these 3 decks here, right? At the start of each turn, the first player must either spend 2 clue tokens or draw a card from the lowest numbered dust deck that still has undrawn cards in it. Okay, what's not written here on the sheet is that while this guy is the Ancient One, the first player token is never given to another player. And the bad thing is that somewhere here in this last deck there is a card that simply will devour one of the players, or the first player, which is bad. So I have now the interesting choice, actually, to say, who's going to be the first player for me at the beginning. And I wasn't sure. First I thought, hey, maybe Tommy Muldoon would be the right guy, because that means that she would be the first player at the very end. That's a good thing, because she's super powerful, I think. And the forums, many people actually think she might be overpowered, but she's definitely super powerful. And I want to keep her as long as possible. In addition, if Tommy is devoured, he will fulfill his personal story, which is definitely kind of cool. On the other hand, I think not being arrested in Innsmouth is also super powerful, and yeah, that's such a strong card. So though I want to keep him, I guess. So I'm gonna make Jenny Barnes my first player. I think she's the one I can lose. I mean, she's not that strong. She's still pretty far away from Patrice Hathaway. So Jenny Barnes is the one who will have to die first. But it's a few rounds, you know. I mean, it's at least 8 rounds. We got 4 cards in each deck. And if we're lucky, it might be up to 11 rounds they can survive, and then they might die in the 12th one or whatever. Okay, it says here at the start of each turn, the first player must either spend 2 clue tokens or draw a card from the lowest numbered dust deck that still has undrawn cards in it. Yeah. Okay. Quetzalcoatl is worshipped by wizards who call upon him for immortality. Warlocks gain +2 toughness and endless. Investigators do not collect clue tokens from defeating a warlock unless they can ignore the endless ability. Okay. If we gotta go into final battle, it's pretty impossible to bring him down. He's got physical immunity, magical immunity. I mean, okay, for that we would have had this Athami, but still. And then the attack is simply ridiculous. He touches the first player who ages to dust and blows away in the wind. I mean, this is okay. So let's resolve the first Mythos card, and because we use an expansion here, I'm going to roll a die, and on a 7 or 8, I'm going to draw from the expansion deck. Otherwise, I'm going to draw from the main deck. Okay, let's see. Okay, cool. Well, it's not that cool, actually. Actually, it's a pretty bad start, because right now we have here at the Devil Reef our first gate opening, and it's pretty hard to get there because you have to go to the Falcon Point. From there you have to take a ship to get to the Devil Reef, and yeah, that kind of sucks right at the beginning. Anyway, okay, I also want to check from which stack of gates I draw. So we draw from this special deck here, Yugoth. This is an endless gate, which also sucks. I think you don't get it as a trophy, if I'm not mistaken. That's a pretty bad start right away. And we gotta draw, we gotta place a Doom token here, of course. And we gotta draw a monster. And the bad part is, of course, that this monster will be in here right when it activates. It moves in there, and we would have our first Ancient One Rising thing. So someone has to move up there right away and try to close that shitty gate. Okay, that is the Leng Spider. And guess what? She's activated right away. So she starts here, is activated, moves attacks, and there we go. we already have our first token. Shit. Okay, by the way, there's a way to get rid of all these tokens. Investigators. Yeah, that's the question. Actually, how does it work? I think investigators... I'm not sure about it. They need to get clue tokens. Wait a minute. I think they need to have an encounter somewhere on the Innsmouth board. And if that encounter is then resolved, they may spend a clue token. Yeah, actually, that's true. It doesn't have to be an encounter. So, as long... Yeah. If an investigator is in a neighborhood in Innsmouth, he simply expends a clue token and places it in the appropriate color, the color of the neighborhood. And it has to be that color. And then, if that track is filled... there will be a federal raid in Innsmouth, and all these tokens go away. Okay. So what else happens? Shipwreck. Ach du Scheiße. Holy shit. The boat's hold releases 2 monsters into the Innsmouth shore streets. Clue appears at the esoteric order of Dagon. Okay, that's a disastrous start. There is no doubt. This is just an absolutely horrible start, which is going to be very hard to fix. We got to get 2 guys, I guess, right there to hunt down these monsters. Otherwise, it's going to be very, very hard. Shit, what a bad start. Okay, that's actually good. That's a ghost. And the good thing about the ghost is he's stationary. So he's not going to move into a vortex. The first good thing that happened in the game. And then we have this formless spawn, which is pretty dangerous. It's got physical immunity. Well, okay. Okay, that was definitely a bad start. Okay, I'm gonna send Tommy to Innsmouth and maybe also Jim. So I might let Jim close the gate in the Devil Reef. Tommy might simply kill the monster. Does that make sense? Hard to tell. Maybe. Nah, maybe not. Shit. It would be great to have the 2 of them working together in Arkham. Jenny Barnes and Tommy Muldoon. So I don't want to send Tommy right now to Innsmouth already. Shit, that's really tricky. Okay, so here's my plan. Jim's got to do the main work for now. He's going to be the one. He's going to try to get, it's not trying, I mean he will be able to get the shriveling spell from Jenny Barnes here at the train station. He's got a movement of 4. First, Jenny will get a buck in the upkeep phase. There we go. And yeah, his will is kind of poor, but anyway, I think we can do it like this. Okay, so, and push this a little higher here. Okay, fine. So, he's got a movement of 4. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, which brings them to the train station, where Jenny gives him the shriveling spell. Okay. Then he's done. He's going to move there in the next turn. And yeah, his goal is then to kill this guy. And he can do that. He's pretty strong. If he can use the Wither and the shriveling spell, he should be able to kill this guy here. And he's got the disguise ability, so he might be able to... Oh, he could also spend a clue token to simply take the ghost, because it's an undead monster. It would be an automatical success, but there is still then a problem with the horror check. Anyway, he could also use the disguise ability and simply sneak past the ghost. So we'll find out about these things. First, I think that's what he wants to do. I mean, there's a lot of things to do for him then, but still, well, I got enough to do in Arkham. Patrice will remain here at the Curiosity Shop for now. And Tommy Muldoon. Yeah. Well, I think he wants to give the rifle to Jenny so that she also has a weapon. And hell, what else? I guess he's simply going to collect. Well, actually, they are not in the same space. I confused him with this guy, so that it would be a good idea to do that, actually. But okay, doesn't work that way. Simply going to collect a clue token, I guess. Don't have a lot of money, but I'm going to move here to Hibbs Roadhouse and grab the clue token. Actually, I forgot to place a clue token at the Order of Dagon, actually. That comes from the Mythos card. Okay, and then it's Jenny. No, actually, we're done. Jenny started. Damn, I'm kind of confused. Jenny started and she remained there. Ah, fuck. Yeah, I was definitely confused here, because I actually did start with Jim Culver, which I shouldn't have done. I should have started with Jenny, but it doesn't really matter. I simply leave her in the train station and then nothing changes. She wants to give him the shriveling. That's important. And I guess that's all for now. Okay, maybe not the best first move here all a little confused right now and a bad start. But we'll see how it ends up. Okay, so what was her task? 5 clue tokens, holy shit. Okay, and now we start with the encounter phase, and I roll again from which deck I will draw. So in this case, it's the normal deck, and we draw from the train station, which is right here. Joey the Rat is huddled in the shadows of the train station and motions for you to come over. He has an item for sale. Draw the top common item card and pay $1 more than list price if you wish to purchase it. That's pretty good. I got a ton of money and I wanted to buy something anyway, so that's pretty cool. There is no doubt. Maybe I'm lucky. That's a safety deposit key. Doesn't make things easier. Spend 1 movement point and discard this card while in the Bank of Arkham to make a luck -2 check. If you succeed, draw 1 unique item. Wow, but if you fail, gain 2 clue tokens. That's pretty valuable, I guess. I think I want to take that for $3. Yeah, that's pretty good. So okay. Next is Jim Culver, and he also draws from the main deck. Bill Washington comes up to you and offers to sell your rail pass, just $3, and you can ride the train all you want for a month. If you accept, pay $3 and take a rail pass card. That's interesting. I have $3. That's actually tempting. How often will I move forth and back? I don't know. I don't know. Huh. Tough choice. Well, definitely once, right? I don't know. Well, honestly, I don't think I want to take this thing. I got a feeling I will not move more than once forth and back to Arkham. I don't think that's to Innsmouth. I don't think that's going to happen. And giving it to someone else, well, I thought maybe I would give it to Tommy Muldoon later in the game, but he might become deputy, which is pretty easy for him. He only needs 1 gate trophy to become deputy. So then he'll end up with a car, and he also doesn't need a train pass. So therefore, I think it doesn't make a lot of sense to spend my $3 on that. Patrice Hathaway, she's in the curiosity shop. Yeah, and I mean, she's going to draw 3 cards, and maybe she draws something cheap here. Fuck that. That's an Elder Sign, a gate box. Okay, so she's not able to buy anything, her, for a $2. It's kind of a shame, because these are pretty good cards. Anyway, she's drawn a unique item here, and I'm pretty sure that places 1 clue token on her personal story. Then Tommy Muldoon, he's at Hips Roadhouse, and that is now one of these expansion cards, and I gotta roll again. It's the first one Let's see which is. There we go. So we got 4 of them for each neighborhood, and I don't want to shuffle them again and again. So in this case, I simply roll a second time, and it's the first one then. So what's your story, friend? A smiling man inquires you about your adventures over a glass of gin. You tell him your story. If you spend 3 clue tokens, he introduces himself as Ryan Dean and asks you to join you. Take his ally card. If it's not available, he gives you some useful items instead. Gain 2 common items. Well, actually I have 3 clue tokens. That's tempting. Let's see if he's available. Well, because you only start with 11 allies out of, I don't know, 25 or something like that, only a part of them are available, and sadly Ryan Dean is not. And I'm definitely not going to give away 3 clue tokens for 2 common items. I could be lucky, but I could also end up with just some shit, and that's not worth the risk for me. So I'm not going to do that. Okay, and yeah, that's already nearly the end of the first turn, and we got to draw another Mythos card from the main deck. And this is not from the right expansion here. So we got to draw again. That's also not good. There we go. You can use that one. So we have the Witch House. Gate opens there. Just a normal one. Which leads to Relie. Holy shit. Okay. We have movement. Well, first we got to draw a monster, obviously. A Migo. He's not too bad. And nobody moves. A clue appears at the Black Cave. And we have the Man in Black showing up in Arkham. Investigators who end their movement in the French hill streets may deal with the Man in Black to gain power. They roll dice equal to their current sanity, and for every failed die they lose 1 sanity. If this reduces them to 0 sanity, they are devoured, and the player must start a new character. Otherwise, they gain 1 clue token and draw 1 spell. That's interesting. It really is. That's an interesting. that is an interesting thing. I mean, it's pretty dangerous. Okay, well, I'm not sure if I want to do that, but it's definitely interesting. So I'm going to place one of these markers in the French hill streets here. And in addition to that, I want to place some of these aquatic location markers here. Okay. So this is it for now. And I think I'm going to do one more turn before I load this up. So, yeah, let's go into the next upkeep phase then. So, we start again with, damn it, wait a minute, I forgot something here. At the start of each turn, yeah, I forgot to draw at the last turn to draw this card, so that's something I have to do right away. The next day I found myself jumping at every shadow and sudden motion. I can only imagine what those who saw me thought. Most likely they believed me to be an escape from an asylum. Lose 1 sanity, do not pass the first player token this turn. Okay, so that means I lose a sanity. Fine. And then we got to draw another card. I could feel the gaze of some unknown eye upon me, and the hair on my neck prickled. Inexplicably, I felt as though I had been judged and found wanting. Do not pass the first player token this turn. Okay, so no bad events this turn. And now I can actually move, do the standard movement with her. And I'm going to go in here to the curiosity shop. And I want to give now Patrice some money. Now she's got $2. Let's say I keep 7. So if I draw something really cool, I can still afford it. And you know what? Actually, I think I take $1 from Jim Culver. Then I'm going to move to the curiosity shop. And I'm going to give $3 to Patrice Hathaway. And that way we both have a healthy amount of money so that we could, for example, both afford an Elder Sign if one should show up. And we also would have, she would have enough money to buy a really cool rifle, for example. Okay. Jim, well, he pays $1. And then he moves here. Okay, so let's see. First of all, we want to fight the Formless Spawn. And so we got to do the horror check here. And I want to try to use this bowl here as my new dice tray. I know it's pretty big, and but the cool thing is that that the dice don't jump out all the time. So that's a problem that I usually had, and maybe this will work better now. Okay, so yeah, it's the horror check. I have a will of 4, which is a lot. Got a -1, so I have 3 dice. Okay. And yeah, we got a success here. I hope it's not too loud for you. And then we gotta do the fighting. And there we gotta do these spells. First we do the Wither spell with no modifiers. So we got 4 dice. And we have a success too. So that gives us a +3. And then I'm going to use the Shriveling, which costs me 1 sanity. And I might actually place that on the Golden Trumpet. And that's a casting modifier of -1. Holy shit, if that doesn't work out, we might have a problem. So let's hope for the best here. And we didn't make it. Shit. Okay, so I guess we're going to blow in a few clue tokens and hope for the best. Come on. Shit. That sucks. Yeah, I gotta go on. Otherwise, it's gonna be very hard for me to fight that guy. Yes, we made it. Very good. Awesome. Well, it wasn't exactly awesome, but at least I managed to get this thing going. So that means we got now a +9. Okay, that should be enough. -2. So we have fight 1, 10. So we got 8 dice. And we need 2 successes. And we just have them. Right there. So we managed to kill that thing. The formless spawn. Okay, and then there is still the ghost. Oops. But here... I think I'm simply going to use my disguise. And I can add 1 success to the result. So I don't have to roll at all. And yeah, I'm done then here. Well, I could also spend a clue token. I mean, maybe that's not such a bad idea. Otherwise, I might get... Shit. Yeah, I don't want to. I don't want to do that. I'm done. I don't want to kill this guy. I just try to evade and actually manage to do so. Okay. Wasn't too great. Took me 2 clue tokens. Well, at least this danger is banned that a second monster will enter one of these vortexes right away. So Patrice, well, she still remains here. Tommy Muldoon, yeah, what is he gonna do? He's gonna move here, 1, 2, 3, and he's gonna grab these 2 clue tokens from the Black Cave, which gives him now 5, and that would be enough to try to seal the gate here in the witch house. Okay, so we come now to the encounter phase, and Jenny starts. So she draws 3 cards from the Curiosity deck. 1, 2, 3. Okay, what do we have? Holy water, that sucks. That's not too great. Ritual candles. You may light the candles and place a clue token on this card. Place an additional clue token on this card during each upkeep step and discard it when there are 4 such tokens. All investigators gain +2 to spell checks while the candles burn. Okay, I don't get that. Let's see again. Okay. So basically for 4 turns, yeah, that's the thing. For 4 turns, I could give investigators +2 to lore checks or to spell checks. Well, that's not bad, especially for Jim Culver. That would be pretty useful, so I might consider buying this thing. Masari Requiem per Shugai. Exhaust to spend 4 movement points to make a will -2 check. If you pass, discard. And the Ancient One, what the fuck? Okay, that's not exactly what I want. I don't want him to awake. So I guess I'm actually going to go with the Ritual Candles. Yeah. Well, I'm not too happy with that, but still. I think that's what I want to do. Shit. Nah. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Ritual Candles. Not fantastic. The holy water would also be tempting, but I don't know. Okay, now let's hope that Patrice draws something better. Well, that's not so bad, I guess. So the Enchanted Jewelry, that's not very good. De Vermis Mysteriis. Exhaust and spend 2 movement points to make a lore -2 check if you pass close 1 open gate. It cannot be sealed anywhere in Arkham. And the Enchanted Knife. I mean, these are both pretty good. The cool thing about this would be she could seal that gate in the Devil Reef. It's not easy to get there. You gotta spend $2, which I don't even have anymore. Shit, I forgot about that. It costs me $2 to move to an aquatic location, and so I think I actually have to do that. Yeah, I'm gonna spend De Vermis Mysteriis. Well, I'm really playing bad today. I mean, I should have never gave her or gave away my second dollar, because it costs me $2 to move from here to one of these spaces. Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, now with this tome, Arkham Encounters. Yeah, exhaust and spend 2 movement points. Why does it say Arkham Encounters? Shouldn't it say movement phase? It's kind of strange. To make a lore -2 check. Yeah, okay, she should be able to do that. And it's a little bit of a shame. The Enchanted Knife would be also great. But okay. Maybe we still have a chance later in the game to get some cool stuff. For now, though, I've drawn the second time unique items. That means I can place a second clue token here, and that means I already fulfilled my personal story. Each time, put a clue token on this card. There are 2 clue tokens on this card. Okay. Rhythm restored. Smiling, Patrice closed her eyes and basked in the music as her bow flew across the strings, unbothered once more. Patrice gains 5 clue tokens. Now that is fantastic. That is absolutely fantastic, because that will allow someone to simply seal another gate. Fabulous. Okay. And then finally, Tommy Muldoon has its encounter. So he's sitting in the Black Cave. If you have a lantern, you notice a deep pit in the floor ahead. Well, sadly he doesn't. If you do not have a lantern, you must pass a lock -2 check. He has a chance to pass that. He can roll a die. And he didn't. Or fall into the pit in the darkness. If you fall, draw 1 injury. Ugh! I guess I'm gonna do that. That's not good, but painful. Okay, let's draw an injury. Concussion. -1 focus. Holy shit. You cannot adjust any of your skills by more than 1 stop per turn. This is pretty ridiculous because I have a focus of 1. Wow. Luckily, I'm kind of where I want to be. This is tough, man. However, I'm not sure. I mean, it's kind of strange because this and this I don't know, man. Does it really mean... I mean, this seems to be something else. You cannot adjust any of your skills by more than 1 stop per turn. Okay, that's obvious. So I think that might be just an additional restriction. But I think there are... I don't know if there is any... I know there is one guy... I don't know if there is anyone who has more than a focus of 2. I think 1 maybe. But I find that a little odd. I guess I will also check that. Anyway, for now, I'm gonna assume that simply means I'm not allowed to adjust these sliders in any way. Okay, so I guess I'm done for now. I'm gonna load this up. Well, it was a little bit of a bumpy start, I would say. I could have done worse, but I made some stupid mistakes, especially in the first turn, I guess. And I didn't really thought things through. And I had a bad start with that first Mythos card. There is no doubt about that. Okay, anyway, I guess, yeah, let's load this up and hope to see you on the next video or on lonesomegamer.com. Bye.